fine. The brewers are making some delicious beer, some yummy, like just feels good in your tummy type beer. The food is phenomenal. Do not miss out on the Samoa Cookhouse. If you go up there, thank me later. It's phenomenal. And I'm so elated that they're a sponsor of this program. Check out visithumboldt.com. Especially if you love the outdoors. I mean, above all else, it is an outdoor haven. It is a paradise for hikers, for nature lovers, for photographers, because it's one of the most photogenic regions in the entire world, not just the US, not just California, the entire planet. If you think I'm being hyperbolic, go check it out and thank me later. Visit the website, visit Humboldt.com for places to stay, things to do, or DM me. I am a resource for you because I used to call the region home once upon a time, and I'll help you out. Just reach out, DM me, either on Instagram at DogWild, Twitter at Surf Journalist, and I will be your tour guide for Humboldt. Visit Humboldt.com is the website. Go check it out. Today's episode also brought to you by, and I'm going to do the Bet Online read while you get to see videos of what Humboldt has to offer. Bet Online, the world's most trusted betting platform. The Golden State Warriors were 2.5-point favorites tonight. Did not cover. If you bet on Atlanta, but you're a Warriors fan, at least you made some money. That's one of the perks of betting. Because even when your favorite team loses, your pocket might get fatter. March Madness has been blazing. My San Diego State Aztecs eliminated. That hasn't stopped the fun. You can join the fun too with March Madness, NBA, baseball's around the corner. Football's going to be back before you know it. Go check out Bet Online. Again, the world's most trusted betting platform. The game starts here. Unfortunately for the Golden State Warriors, the game did not start at all for them tonight. And we bring in Ryan Leong, who's joining us. Are you at the Shark Tank, Ryan? Good to see you, brother.
Yep, I am.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to position my camera the other way.
You're in San Ho.
Yeah, I'm at the Shark Tank in the press box.
Nice. Well, I'm accustomed to you usually setting up so we have like this extravagant view behind you where the aesthetics are part of the charm. But yeah, you're going the old school route.
Yeah,
you're aiming the camera
I can't turn it around either.
Gotcha. Yeah. All good. All good. Ryan, did you get a chance to watch the Warriors game tonight?
I watched a little bit here and there on the drive down on my cell phone. I could just tell the Warriors were never in this game. They were down by as many as 20 points. They kept fluctuating between being down 15 to 20, and it looked like they just never got anything going.
No, they had an awful start to this game. They got outscored in the first quarter 40-23, and they never recovered from that. They played an Atlanta Hawks team that averages 14.8 turnovers per game, and they finished the game with, well, okay, this isn't fair because they actually finished with 14 turnovers. Let me show you a stat here that makes a lot more sense in terms of the turnover battle, because the Warriors did decide to show up a little bit in the fourth quarter. First through third quarters, the Atlanta Hawks had 5 turnovers individually. I guess there's a 6th turnover there as a team. I don't know where that came from, but 6 team turnovers through the first 3 quarters, 14 total. What is it, in your opinion, Ryan, about other players and other teams that on most nights are nothing more than average at best, but for some reason when the Warriors come to town or they visit the Warriors, they become the most annoying tryhards? They're pests. Tonight, no exception. What is going on there? Are the Warriors that star-studded? Is their recent success that memorable that other teams, it's just sticking in their mind that they got to kick it into another gear? In your opinion, what's going on here? Because it's annoying as hell that every opponent the Warriors play ends up bringing out their best. They certainly play better than against everyone else. What are you seeing there, Ryan? Because it's frustrating.
Yeah, I don't see anything different. Yeah, I would say that they are. They're a hunted team, and other players step up against them. Although you're definitely seeing it with obviously a Trae Young, but like George Niang. I mean, 23 points today, 8 of 11 shooting off the bench in 22 minutes. I mean, who the heck is he, right? And then Onyeka Okongwu, right? He has 22 points from the center position. I mean, those guys really stepped it up, right? You got Ricochet, first-year rookie, top draft pick. He's doing all right, but of course with Trae Young, you expect to see that, right? 9 of 15 shooting. He's always going to be like leading the Hawks.
This was a tale of halves in terms of the Hawks having just one standout player. You mentioned Okongwu in the first half of this game. Excuse me. Okongwu is a player who averages on the season 12.9 points per game. In the first half of this game, he puts up 18 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. He's also a 31% three-point shooter, was 2 of 3 shooting from beyond the arc in the first half. Second half of this game, Okongwu's role was replaced by the man you mentioned, George Niang, a player who, for whatever reason, maybe he's slighted by the fact that the man was once a player for Santa Cruz and the Warriors did not appreciate him, did not promote him, obviously, and maybe he's vengeful. Regardless, in the second half of this game tonight, George effing Niang, a player whose name was barely even uttered when he was involved in the trade that sent him from Cleveland to Atlanta, that sent DeAndre Hunter back to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Most people would mention Caris LeVert as being the big name sent from Cleveland to Atlanta, not George Niang. Yet in the second half of this game, George Niang, in one half of basketball, 18 points. So Okongwu scores 18 in the first half, Niang scores 18 in the second half, but it was those goddamn threes that just kept falling by this guy. Niang finishes 6 of 8 from deep in just the second half. All of his points, the 18 points, were because of those damn threes. And it leads me to an issue that I am seeing from the Golden State Warriors that is a consistent issue, Ryan. And this has less to do with other teams rising to the level of the Warriors, and I think more so to do with either schematics or effort. I don't know what the issue is, but what I am seeing consistently from the Golden State Warriors defensively in terms of a failing approach is they have to improve their perimeter defense and more specifically drive and kicks, because other teams have a very basic strategy that they implement against the Warriors, and when it works, it looks so ugly from the Warriors' perspective. They penetrate, they kick, they collapse the defense. There always ends up being a wide open three-point shooter, and those guys are making them because these are not contested shots. The Warriors have to do something about that. I don't know if it's their size that exploits this because they're smaller, and so when they have to collapse because usually the defender needs help. I don't know if they're not rotating fast enough on the perimeter to make up for these gaps defensively where players are wide open, but that is a fundamental flaw in the defense, schematically speaking, for the Golden State Warriors, where opposing teams have a lot of wide open threes. Niang's threes, like those were not contested, at least on most of them, and they're going right in. What are you seeing from that perspective? Because that's a problem that they do have to fix. I don't know if it's a Jerry Stackhouse issue. I don't know if it's a Steve Kerr issue. I don't know if it's a personnel issue, but it is an issue. Your thoughts?
No, I would say it's no different. You pretty much nailed it on the head. I mean, you watch this team even a little more carefully than I do. You definitely are always watching not only the home games but the road games, and the Warriors don't provide any kind of perimeter defense. I think they've had a problem with that for many years, not just this season.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It has been a problem for a long time. Pete Gregory adding that the Warriors' transition defense is also an issue that they need to fix. Wholeheartedly agree with you, but I'm just getting really sick of a very basic, simple strategy other teams are implementing, and the fact that it keeps working is what concerns me. And again, I don't know if they're just not rotating fast enough. I don't know if it's a personnel issue where you need to have bigger dudes in there. Like Trayce Jackson-Davis, for example, we saw minutes from him tonight. And for the most part, they were good. He only played 4 minutes, 34 seconds, but that's how desperate Steve Kerr was getting tonight, where he was digging deep into his bench to get some help. And again, I don't know if it's a personnel thing. I don't know if now look, when Trayce Jackson-Davis did play, I thought it helped. But I don't know if that's the salve, if it's just playing bigger dudes, because the problem with Trayce Jackson-Davis is you also have an offensive issue when he's in there. I don't know how effective he is. But, Ryan, I'm going to let you go really fast here just because this was an ugly game. You got a lot of stuff to do. Give us your final reaction, unless you want to stick around for a little while while we play sound. I'll leave it up to you. But I just
yeah, I don't think I have a lot to provide to you that I can add to what I saw tonight. But like I said, I just saw a Warriors team that was constantly playing from behind. I mean, they got some production out of Jimmy Butler, which is nice, but you kind of expected that you'd see some difficulty here because they didn't have Steph Curry. And Atlanta's always had the Warriors number. I remember that game where I think Trae Young beat them with a 3 at the buzzer, right? And they had Steph in that game. So, Atlanta's one of these teams, man, they're going to play the Warriors tough. So, it kind of gets back again to what we were talking about the other night with Toronto, right? It doesn't matter a team's record right now. The Warriors, everybody knows the Warriors have to keep winning. And they're only, half a game up on the Clippers right now for 6th?
I haven't even looked at the standings yet. I'm saving that for the end. I actually like to not look at it so I can be as I can provide an authentic emotional reaction. So are the Warriors still in 6?
Yeah, from what I saw, they're still in 6, correct. But I mean, they're just in a position where they don't have a lot of room for error.
Last year, you're right. The Warriors now have a 6-game losing streak in Atlanta. Last year, Stephen Curry dropped 60 points in Atlanta, and they still lost that game. What is it about that place, man? Does it happen to be the first city that they always go to at the start of road trips? I haven't looked at their schedule in past years, but they did look jet lagged. I mean, does that have anything to do with it? Is it Trae Young? What goes into that, in your opinion?
I think it's a couple of things. I think it does have a lot to do with traveling to the East Coast. It's almost like it's a different sport. But I'll never forget the Oakland Raiders when they went to the East Coast. They had a losing streak, but they didn't win a game in the East Coast time zone for a decade or something. It was crazy. But a lot of teams, they really struggle with the time change. Losing 3 hours and flying 3,000 miles east.
Yeah, and that's what the Warriors did. They played just 2 days ago. They traveled yesterday. They looked like a jet-lagged group of individuals. The fight was not there early in this game. When I read the first quarter stats tonight, it's going to look ugly. I'll leave you this, Ryan, before you go. The Warriors, if there's any good news following this game, it's that they have some time off. They don't play again until Tuesday, so they have a nice reprieve here. Explain, in your opinion, the benefits of the Warriors getting some days off here, and what do you expect them to do?
Get some rest. I mean, they at least if nothing else, they got a few days to catch up to the time change, because that's the biggest thing. Again, losing 3 hours is big, and the Warriors just played on Thursday, so they had a little bit of time off, but not much. So giving them all the way until Tuesday gives them time to kind of catch their breath and kind of get their sea legs under them, because I think they really need that right now. And we don't really know how long Curry's going to be gone. I'm assuming hopefully he'll come back at some point during this road trip, because they said. Right, it's only a bruise or a contusion. Right, he doesn't have any other injuries from that. So, interesting. Yeah, they got to Tuesday in Miami. Hopefully, they do all their partying before Tuesday night's game. Right, you don't want these guys partying in South Beach on Monday night.
Well, look, I'm looking at the schedule, and that is a legitimate concern. I agree with you. And my hope is that the Warriors save their partying for after the game, because again, they have a nice little vacation here. Something tells me they're going to go right to Miami after this, and then Jimmy Butler is going to be the tour guide. But this is what the schedule is upcoming. They're off tomorrow. They're off Monday. They play Miami Tuesday. They're off Wednesday. They're off Thursday, and then they play the Pelicans on Friday before they have another off day after that.
Interesting. They're going to two big party cities. You think about it.
So I'm saying, I feel like the NBA helped them out in one aspect, but on the other side of that coin, you give a team that many days off, and they might take too much advantage of that. You're right. I don't want to see hangovers. I don't want to see a sluggish team. What I beg of the Warriors to do: save your Miami Beach partying until Tuesday night after the game. If you want to go back to back, hitting the bottle, stay Wednesday, have fun there, and then rest up Thursday and go to New Orleans. And then you have another chance after the game in New Orleans to have a little more fun and enjoy the dining. But I'm with you, brother. How are the Sharkies doing before we go?
Well, they're not doing well. I mean, they're struggling mightily. I mean, they're at the bottom of the NHL standings. I mean, I can't remember what their losing streak is right now, but I think it's at 3 or 4. They beat the Blackhawks, which was cool. They had that one game where it was the top draft picks playing against each other. Connor Bedard for the Blackhawks against Mac Celebrini with the Sharks. But the Sharks they've just been taking it on the chin. I mean, hopefully they're going to come out tonight, and if they don't win this game, hopefully they can at least be competitive.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, brother. Well, it's great to see you, man. And I'm sure we'll see you soon. Have a great rest of the night at the Shark Tank. and have a great night in
Thank you
general.
so
It
much.
is Saturday, if there's any good news there.
Sounds good. Thanks so much.
All right,
Take care,
brother.
Cyrus.
Thank you, Ryan. And people can follow you on Twitter at Ryan Leong. Bay Area Sports Wrap is the channel Ryan's on. You could also check him out for all the reports he does for NBC News Radio. Although his name is rarely, if ever, associated with that. Usually you just hear the work that he does in terms of the interviews and the clips that get submitted after the fact. But yeah, this was a brutal loss for the Golden State Warriors tonight. A final score of 124-115. But this thing started ugly early. Again, they were outscored in the first quarter 40. Hold on a second here. I had it right here a second ago. 40-23. And that opening quarter was disgusting. Like when I look at the stats of what went down in that first quarter, you had a lot of Warriors players not doing well. And I mean, you look at the net rating, Pajemski in that opening quarter, -18. Moody, Post, Draymond, each were -12s. The only player really holding his own in terms of keeping his teammates afloat was Jimmy Butler, who was just a -2 in that opening quarter. Kuminga, a -14. Buddy Hield, Guy Santos, Kevon Looney, -5. It was literally Jimmy Butler with a +2 in the opening quarter, GP2 with a +1. I thought Steve Kerr brought GP2 in very late. I was expecting a much earlier than with about 2 minutes remaining. So basically the Warriors went nearly 10 minutes in this game, getting their asses kicked before we saw the player that could settle things a little bit defensively in terms of dealing with a player like Trae Young, who causes havoc. Side note, at the end of the first quarter, egregious on the NBA officials' part to not call a traveling call on Trae Young. They double teamed him. He took like 6 steps before passing the ball away. Call the goddamn travel. Steve Kerr was not happy about that either and made his displeasure known. But these officials, between that early non-call and the travel, numerous fouls in the second quarter or the second half, that were called on the Hawks. But despite the fact that players like Jimmy Butler, Moses Moody were in the shooting motion, they kept it on the floor. And then you had a double standard on the other side where every time the Atlanta Hawks would get fouled, the refs would immediately call that the player was in the shooting motion and they get 2 free throws. Kalena Azubuike said it best on the broadcast tonight. All players want, and I think this extends to the fandom, excuse me, all people want, whether it's players, coaches, fans, is some goddamn consistency. Don't routinely set double standards out there. Yet that is what these officials are doing. So I noticed that in terms of the officials being embarrassing. But again, the first half of this game is when it completely went away from the Warriors. They were down pretty much throughout, and they could never really come back. But again, we talked about it earlier in the show. Folks like George Niang, who in the second half of this game was 6 of 8 shooting from deep. Again, a Kongwu in the first half of this game, 18 points when he averages 12.9 on the season. This is what happens routinely. And again, what I'm seeing in terms of the Warriors defense and where they're failing is allowing these open threes. They allow them a lot. And that's a problem. That is an issue that the Warriors need to fix on the defensive side of things, because these are NBA players. You leave them wide open and they will hit their goddamn shots. Sorry for dropping so many goddams. This is the mood I'm in tonight. Frustrated, annoyed. One category that I thought the Atlanta Hawks killed Golden State in. And it's what, and again, this is where I don't know if it's a coaching thing where the wrong personnel were in the game. I don't know if the personnel themselves just didn't show up tonight. But the Atlanta Hawks were killing the Golden State Warriors with second chance points. I don't know how many possessions we saw tonight where the Warriors defense did put the clamps down and they successfully stopped Atlanta, only for those sons of bitches to get second chance points via offensive rebounds. And they were penalizing the Warriors severely for that. And I think that's at least part of the reason why we saw those Trace Jackson Davis minutes tonight. Besides the fact that Okongwu was looking like a goddamn all-star, you also had a lot of second chance points in this game. The Atlanta Hawks finished tonight with 10 offensive rebounds. Side note, that is a high number. They out-rebounded the Warriors 46-38. And this is an example also of where the Warriors going smaller can bite them in the ass sometimes, because when you go small, and Steve Kerr even acknowledged this after last season when he admitted that the Warriors expended perhaps too much energy trying to win the rebounding battle. The Warriors were the number one team in the NBA last year in rebounding. True story. And it resulted in a play-in berth. They didn't even make the playoffs because of that. And we saw a lot of that tonight as well. The Warriors expending more energy than they probably should. In this case, just to try to play good defense. But when you're smaller than the other team, and Atlanta was a bigger team tonight, they're going to burn you in categories like that. Again, out-rebounded them 46-38. They had 10 offensive rebounds to 6 for the Golden State Warriors. And with second chance points, the Warriors won that battle 14-8. The Hawks won the points in the paint battle 60-44. And this is also why, for all the Kuminga haters out there, again, save the hate for after the season when it actually matters. Does no damn good, expressing your gripes now other than just trolling and trying to, make your voice heard. But I did think Kuminga could have played more in the second half, just for, if no other reason, the athleticism and size. Could have helped. Jonathan Kuminga was leading the team in scoring in the first half. And then in the second half, we didn't see him a lot in that fourth quarter. People will point a lot to that net rating statistic, which, again, side note, very subjective stat. To give an example, Kuminga led the Warriors in net rating in that Nuggets game, yet you haters still love to point the finger at him like he was at fault for that. And then tonight, he did not do good in net rating. So you say the same thing. Be consistent in terms of hating folks. So the net rating battle for Kuminga did not make him look good, clearly, because he was a minus 18. He did also have a bad second half. But again, this is where I wish the minutes were there. He played a total of 21 minutes, 44 seconds, and to provide the contrast here between what Kuminga was doing in the first half and the second half. Jonathan Kuminga in the first half, 16 points, 2 assists and a rebound, 6 of 11 shooting from the field, played 14 minutes, 48 seconds doing that. He was on the right track. All right. The problems with the Warriors was not Jonathan Kuminga, who I know there was at least one possession where I know a lot of you folks will point to in terms of poor decision-making. Again, there's 100 possessions per side. Do not focus on individual possessions. But the second half of this game is where we unfortunately not only saw a diminishment in his minutes, but he just wasn't contributing as well. Jonathan Kuminga in the second half played just 6 minutes, 56 seconds, minus 9 in net rating, 0 points, was 0 of 3 from the field, and one of those 3 field goal attempts was a 3-point attempt, and had just 1 rebound. But again, 6 minutes, 56 seconds. This is where we will agree to disagree if you feel like Kuminga should not be playing at all. He needs minutes, and I do wish we saw him more in the fourth quarter. I know a huge reason for that was the crew that Steve Kerr had out there was making a run. And this was a 5-man crew of Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, GP2, who again had a great game tonight, Moses Moody, and Brandon Podziemski. Podziemski had a lot of mistakes in this game as well. But I do wish we saw more minutes for Kuminga in the second half, simply because his size, his athleticism is desperately needed. He led the team in scoring in the first half, and to reward that with 6 minutes and change, and again, if you agree with Steve Kerr's decision to do that, strongly agree to disagree. Showboy saying, highlighting that Kuminga did not play well. He didn't play bad in the first half. And again, 21 minutes and change. Not enough. But this was a 6th game back from the ankle injury, so it was one of those things where you're watching this game in the fourth quarter, and the 5-man unit Kerr had out there was making a run. But the moment that run stopped, I do wish Kuminga did see some minutes. Brandon Podziemski played 36 minutes, 11 seconds in this game. Had moments. His 3-point shot is looking beautiful. 5 of 8 shooting from deep for Brandon Podziemski. Unfortunately, the dude missed a shitload of layups tonight, in case you missed that. Brandon Podziemski was 5 of 8 from 3 1 of 6 from 2. And this is the one stat that, again, I'm going to harp on Podziemski for, where I think the numbers need to change, and that's assists. Brandon Podziemski calls himself a natural point guard. Great. I've been advocating for you, kid, as a point guard from pretty much day one. But you got to get those assist numbers up. 36 minutes, 11 seconds. That's a lot of time to give to one player. He led the Warriors in minutes tonight. And you only get 4 assists as your point guard? That has to improve. And that's where maybe Jimmy Butler can also influence him a little bit. Someone on social media was griping a little bit tonight in terms of Podziemski jarring with the officials, which might have riled Trae Young up. I actually like it. Brandon Podziemski is one of the only players in the NBA who calls out the floppers. By the way, Mick, who says we have a problem with Kuminga's money and not him, he's like the 9th highest paid player right now. If your concern is what he's asking for next year, bring it up in the offseason. Again, if you call yourself a Warriors fan, what good are you doing bringing it up now? Other than just being an asshole and being a troll. What good are you doing? How is that productive? Answer that for me, please. Otherwise, just move on from griping about the money issue, because it bears no relevancy on March 22nd, which is today's date. Bring it up when the season's over. And then you have Leah Holmes in the chat who says that Kuminga should have played the whole fourth quarter. Again, the Warriors had a good run where they trimmed a Hawks lead that was like 18-19 down to, I think, 6 at one point before the Hawks just brought it right back up. And it was unfortunate. So I hear you on that. But he should have played more than 6 minutes, 56 seconds in the second half. That part I don't like. Frank Grimes, who has made himself known as a Kuminga hater. Congratulations, if that's what you like to be known as. Do you think Stephen Curry agrees with your sentiments? Because Steph loves Kuminga. Steph doesn't want Kuminga to go anywhere. Steph will not agree with your ignorant sentiment that the Warriors are a better team without Kuminga. Kuminga was not in the game when the Warriors were getting their asses kicked to start this game. Kuminga wasn't playing when the Warriors were getting their asses handed to them before the Jimmy Butler trade. So what do you base that on? That's pure ignorance, man. Yeah, I agree. I will not indulge the trolls the rest of the night. That is the extent of it, unless you do donations. Then I'm going to have to, like Living Room TV, for example, dropping $1.99, saying that responding to Julian Bashir in the chat, saying this is the NBA, not a Disney movie. But Minga, what does that mean? How is Kuminga benefiting from reasons other than his play? And he didn't benefit tonight. He only played 21 minutes. Another $1.99 from Living Room TV, a.k.a. Kuminga hater, that he was a minus 18. Trade him away ASAP or walk him. You can't trade him right now. So not a constructive criticism, but thank you for the $1.99. Julian Bashir responding with $20. Oh, I like that. That's a good response, Julian. That is a good response. And I appreciate you benefiting me in the process, but you're going to get some airtime for this. $1.99 is burger flipping money. I don't know how you respond to that. Living Room TV did with another $1.99. No response to that at all. Just more hate for Kuminga, saying the Warriors are on fire this year and last year when Kuminga is out. That is not true at all, dude. I don't know where you're coming up with that. The evidence does not substantiate that criticism. But Julian Bashir, good comeback there. So Podziemski tonight, again, I like him calling out players for the flopping. I really do. Trae Young is is guilty of it more than most. He's in the elite company of the head whips, the flopping, with James Harden, with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I have no respect for any of those clowns and the way they get their points by just stealing them at a free throw line, convincing these inept, moronic refs to blow the whistle consistently. None. Zero. Nil. That's the amount of respect I have for these players. If you can't pull it off on a playground, if you can't pull it off on a public court, it's bullshit that you're trying and succeeding to do it on an NBA court. Great. You dupe the refs. You ain't duping people with two eyes watching this game, you frauds. Let's get the link in here. We'll get some people going. In terms of the audience coming on the show, if you want to come on. A1 asking, what is my opinion of Kuminga's defense? Great. Tonight, again, 21 minutes and change. And defensively, I don't know if there's any Warriors player outside of maybe GP2, who even he had his moments of disappointment with Trae Young flipping easy shots over his head, for example. But I don't know anyone who had a great defensive game tonight. This was just a failure defensively almost across the board. Even Draymond Green got outplayed by Dyson Daniels tonight. Dyson Daniels had 3 steals in this game. So did Draymond Green, but Dyson Daniels' 3 steals were timely. Like they were part of the huge run that gave him a big lead. I have no memory of any of Draymond's steals. I have one, I guess, actually. Now in hindsight, I'm thinking about it. But Draymond Green, by the way, tonight did not show up in 35 minutes and 12 seconds of play. I also was mistaken in the minutes comment earlier about Brandon Pajemski leading the team in minutes. He was actually second. I apologize for that. Jimmy Butler III led the team in minutes tonight with 37 minutes and 31 seconds of play. The Warriors, every time Jimmy Butler III was on the court tonight, were a plus 11. They were winning. So all of the losing for the Golden State Warriors came tonight when Jimmy Butler III and GP2 were off the court. That's crazy. Only 2 Warriors players in this game tonight were in the positive in net rating. Jimmy Butler III with a plus 11, GP2 with a plus 6. Draymond Green was a minus 4. Quentin Post and Moses Moody were a minus 2. Brandon Pajemski was a minus 8. Jonathan Kuminga minus 13. Guy Santos, another player who has not... He just looked overwhelmed tonight. I don't know what to say about Guy Santos. And his net rating tonight, a minus 13. Just 1 field goal attempt, 0 points. Yeah, that was rough. And Guy played 4 minutes, 27 seconds. And both appearances by him, whether I believe he came in the first quarter, we saw him again, I think in the third, for these brief spurts. And he was just getting killed. He looked a step slow. And again, that's where I don't know, is it jet lag? Is it Atlanta just showing up on a night when they normally don't because they see the Warriors and go, ooh, everyone's watching this one. Oh, we got to kick it into an extra gear. It's the Warriors. Oh, boy, a bunch of our fans are Stephen Curry fans. We got to show them. I don't know what's going on there. But Guy Santos played in the first and the third quarters in little runs and didn't do much. But, yeah, Draymond Green, so-so game tonight offensively. Finished with just 5 points, and they do need his scoring, unfortunately. Yeah, so 5 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, a block. Also had 3 turnovers. One of those turnovers was late, and it was costly. Wasn't the best game for Draymond Green. Eric Simmons joining us from Vegas. How you doing, brother?
Hey, how you doing, Cy?
I've been better, man. This game pissed me off. I don't know what else to say. How are you?
You really thought we was going to win this one?
Say again?
You thought that we was going to win this one?
Before the jump ball to start the game, yes. and then soon after that, no. How about you, man?
I think that it's the same as if Jimmy Butler missed out and this Steph was playing. It's like you need them both if you don't have them both. Because here's the problem. If we wasn't the Warriors and we didn't win 4 championships out of the last, 10 or so years, yeah, we would have came out this game as the winner. But when teams see the Warriors, and I thought that maybe since Steph wasn't playing, that teams will be at their normal level of play. But they're not. Especially, I think Draymond Green with his podcast, he keeps running his mouth. They're just going to bring their A game, and they're going to play at a level to the point where they don't normally play. And it's a bad recipe because ESPN don't call this. because they don't know it like us, right? Because we're watching every single game, and we watch other games too, and so we know how these teams usually play, and they don't play like this, which is kind of interesting because you was on yesterday with Rick Barry. Was it yesterday?
Correct. Yeah.
Rick Barry was talking about how like basketball deals with a lot of the mind. It's a psychological sport, and a team like Atlanta, why can't they play like this every single game? Like, why they don't have that kind of hunger and that sort of drive to compete like they did today? Like, why is it only when they see the Warriors they have that kind of drive and that kind of hunger?
Well, part of it was the Warriors themselves. They came out flat to start this game. Again, this is eye test speaking, but the Hawks were playing at 100%. I feel like the Warriors started this game playing at 80. If the Warriors had played with the energy in the fourth quarter when they made that run, that if they brought that energy to the start of this game, I think it's a different story. But part of this was on Golden State just being lackadaisical, I think, and it was too little, too late by the time they woke up and realized what the hell was going on. But you're right. A lot of this, again, George Niang, 6 of 8 from 3, 6 of 8,
right. 6 of 8.
Or 6 of 9 was his final number. Like, he's not doing that. George Niang is not dropping 23 points. That's what he did tonight. 23 points. A Kongwu averages 12.9 points per game tonight. 22 points. Dude was 2 of 3 from deep. He's not normally a 3-point shooter. It was one of those games, man. It just sucked. I'm more curious to know why the Warriors have a 6-game losing streak in Atlanta. Like, I don't get that part of it. Like I know Atlanta has some strip clubs. I get that. But
some big booty black girls out there, Cyrus.
What's up?
Some big booty black girls out in Atlanta.
I won't take it any further than that. I'll leave the commentary to you on that front. But
Si,
if you say so,
you love some big booty black girls, Cyrus.
I love all of it. I love all of it. Yeah, no discrimination here. I promise you that.
All right, so Steph got a hip contusion, a tailbone contusion. They're saying that they had a doctor on here on postgame saying that he could be out between a week and 6 weeks. How many games do you think, Cyrus, that we can afford without Steph Curry on this rate? Because now Miami, we all know Miami's about to bring the heat. Literally, you got Wiggins on the revenge tour. You got the whole entire. Everybody's pissed off with Jimmy Butler. So this is going to be really interesting. So we're potentially looking at 2 games in a row that we're losing. Realistically, Cyrus. No,
I don't know. I'm not worried about that. I will say this, and I'll say this with confidence. I'm not worried about Miami. This Warriors team is good enough where, and again, silver lining. I mentioned this at the beginning of the show. Silver lining. This Warriors team does not let games like these fester and linger. Like when we play the post-game sound tonight, I guarantee you're going to hear a lot of players pissed off and saying that they're not going to repeat this. No, I if anything, I feel for Miami because they're struggling mightily already, and they're about to face a Warriors team who's now pissed off. You're also going to get Jimmy Butler wanting to come home and send a message to the Miami Heat that they made a huge mistake not giving him the extension. They made a huge mistake not surrounding him with help. Those were his 2 gripes. A lack of commitment, and I get it. I don't know why you wouldn't be upset if you're in Jimmy Butler's position and the team you've been like overachieving for doesn't reward you with the money you feel you deserve because of your age. I get it from his perspective. And where was the help? Where was the dude carried Miami almost by himself to 2 NBA finals. Right. Where was the help? Like, he was pissed for good reason, I thought. So when other people were saying, like, oh, Jimmy Butler's an asshole, Jimmy Butler's acting unprofessional, like, you had a lot of narratives and a lot of people not on Jimmy's side, right? Saying that he's under contract, so he needs to honor the contract. But there was another perspective to this. And the other perspective, the other side, I thought made sense. Like, if I'm Jimmy Butler, I get it. It's weird but I really believe this fervently. And let me know what your opinion is in response. I think in every one of Jimmy Butler's situations, he was right. Like, I think he was on a Minnesota team where he was surrounded by soft-ass players, and he was right. I don't think that the relationship ended in Philly badly. It's just they chose they made a financial decision of Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler. He was right. He was in Miami. You're seeing now the dude can still clearly play, yet Miami didn't think he was good enough for another extension, and they didn't try hard enough to get him help. They tried for Dame Lillard and failed, and actions speak louder than words. Jimmy was right. So I that's my perspective on it. And I love the guy. And I think Tuesday, there's going to be a reckoning coming for the city of Miami and that organization. So I think things are going to be fine Tuesday. I'm actually excited about that matchup. Your thoughts to my rant right there.
I agree. And yeah, there's a chance that everything can flip. And yeah, that it makes sense. I have no argument there. Do you think Steph Curry comes back after the Miami game? Because that would be
maybe
almost 2 weeks.
Maybe. Because look, on one hand, I was actually advocating for Steph to just sit out the whole road trip and rest and recover. But then Rick Barry yesterday made a good counterpoint to that, which is you don't want him to miss too much time and get rusty. Although I still agree with my original sentiment, only because Stephen Curry is that good of a player where he doesn't worry me when it comes to like timing and rhythm and routine. Like Steph is so effing good. He can miss a month and come back and not miss a beat. So he can miss all the time he wants, and I'm not worried about it. I think this situation, if anything, is a good test for Golden State to learn how to win without him. They failed tonight, but I think they're going to come back Tuesday, man. What do you think?
Post, he's got to hit his layups. It's amazing how they
and pods, both those dudes. You said Quinn Post, right?
I got something to say about Pods too, but
go for it, please. We got folks waiting. I want to get to them. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's amazing how they had a chart today of the leading leaders in 3-point percentage amongst rookies. Quinn Post is on top of that. He's even doing better than Connect, and Connect can shoot. But if he's that good at three side, because I played basketball back in the day, threes are way harder than layups. So you're telling me that Post is spending the majority of his time in the gym practicing three after three after three, and he's not doing no layups whatsoever. Because
did Quinn Post miss layups tonight? Like, I didn't. He was 4 of 6 shooting from the field, 3 of 4 shooting from deep. Side note: the Warriors, when Quentin Post makes 3 or more threes in a game, they were 8-1. Unfortunately, after tonight, they're now 8-2. But you're noticing Quentin Post missing layups?
I've been noticing that.
Interesting. All right, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm going to pay attention to that now.
It looks weird too. I've never seen a guy that tall struggling to make layups, and these are lightly contested layups, sort of are wide open layups, and he cannot hit it. Now, Podziemski, this guy looks to pass every single time he has a wide open lane. It was actually one play to where Trae Young and another defender backed off of Podziemski because they already knew that he was going to pass, and he was wide open underneath the rim, and then he realizes it too late, and then he misses it. It's just like, it's so embarrassing. And Podziemski is really good, but he needs to learn to be more aggressive. If he has a wide open lane, do not pass. You got to drive. And when you drive, go in there aggressively because you're more than likely going to get a foul. But this looking to pass crap, this got to go because it steals momentum from the team. Because more than likely, every time that Podziemski passes out of the lane, it results in a turnover or results in a missed shot. And almost every single time, the opponent scores on the other end. You have to take advantage of the easy ones. It's like they pass out of the easy ones and they're looking for a hard one, and you're making the game harder than what it needs to be.
And again, with all these passes you're talking about with Podziemski, they're not resulting in points unless he's getting a lot of hockey assists. But I'm not seeing that tonight. And tonight was like a good night for him assist wise. 36 minutes, 11 seconds, 4 assists. That has to go up. The 19 points were beautiful. The 3-point shot, 5 of 8 shooting from deep, beautiful. 1 of 6 shooting from inside the 3-point line. What's going on there? And most of those were layups, man. Like, and he was trying to, like, he hesitates sometimes. Like, there was one possession tonight where Podziemski was wide open, a foot away from the bucket, and he looked like he didn't know what to do. He literally just was like thinking. And then and again, this is where, like, for example, Pete Gregory brings up or accuses me dropping $1.99 doing so of grading Kuminga on a curve lately. I don't agree with that at all. I'd love for you to cite examples. And this is why I wish you Kuminga haters would come on the show so we could have a discussion about it. But look, he's also the second youngest player on this team. Podziemski's younger by 3 months, and I'm going to acknowledge that part of it as well. Brandon Podziemski's super young. I do think he's going to figure it out in terms of increasing the assists. Jonathan Kuminga, yes, he makes bad decisions sometimes, but he also makes a hell of a lot of good ones. Did you not see, for example, the coast-to-coast easy layup he got tonight? Just brought the ball from one side to the other, made an easy bucket. He was causing havoc for the Atlanta Hawks defense by penetrating over and over again. He led the team in first half scoring. Acknowledge those things in addition to the negatives, please. And then we could have a healthy discussion. But the Kuminga haters only focus on the negatives. I never hear them mention the positives, which is that this dude's the most athletic player on the team. This guy's one of the only players getting to the free throw line, which is another reason why I wish he had played more, because Jimmy Butler had 14 free throw attempts. The next highest on the team tonight, Jonathan Kuminga with 3. And if he had played more than 21 minutes, he would have had more trips to the free throw line. That helps your transition defense in the process, but you haters never bring up the positives. You just focus on the negatives. Focus on some of the good things too, please, and provide specifics in terms of the criticism, not you've been grading them on a curve lately. Okay, that's vague. That's ambiguous. I have no effing idea what you mean by that. Provide some damn specifics. What am I not grading them harder than you desire? Give me a point there. Anyways, Derek, you're also getting some heat about not wearing a shirt. Explain to the D-bags in the chat why you're not wearing a shirt, because there's a good reason for that.
I'm not wearing a shirt because, damn, I'm making all kinds of gains. You see those trap side, you see them shoulders, you see the chest popping, yes, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know I'm getting heat in the chat because every single man's girlfriend or wife, they now are watching the show side. You are getting extra viewership now. All the girls looking at them games. That's why.
No, but you have a YouTube channel where you're showing off your workout regimen. How can people follow you there?
Yes, YouTube channel is Derek Simmons IFBB Pro. And then Instagram and TikTok is at relentless_attitude. And yeah, we talk about supplements, talk about workout routines. So checking me out over there. And yeah.
Good stuff. Enjoy.
Oh, and Cyrus, you ever had a little brother or cousin that was messing with you, but you paid them no attention?
Oh, dude, I have 2 siblings. I have like 30 cousins. Yes, 100%. I think my social development was largely because of how big my family was growing up.
So when you paid them no attention, what do? They stopped. That's
true.
Everybody's talking about Kuminga because they know they can upset you, Cyrus. They try to upset you.
I know. Here's the thing. I'm fully aware of it, and if it was hurting audience numbers, I would move on fast. But people are eating this stuff up, so I will engage. I'll indulge. But I'm fully aware. I know, brother. I feel it. Part of it too, I know this is weird, but like I feel for the kid. Like I actually want to defend him because I don't think he deserves any of this shit. He's gotten such a rotten hand in terms of the coach he has and a lot of the fans of this team. I feel for him, dude. And I don't know if it's like a paternal thing. I don't know what's going on, but part of it is I get it. And I'm just rolling with it because it is fun content. People do want to see the back and forth. Sadly, I'm not sitting here supporting consumer desires and what they want. I think that's a whole other issue. But I'm giving the people what they want. I hope, and I feel for the kid, dude. He's a good person in reality. He comes from humble beginnings. This is not someone who's ever benefited from nepotism. He's gonna be. I do believe personally he's gonna be a star. I do. I think he has all the makings and talent to be a star in this game, but he needs minutes. That is what I'm advocating for. He needs minutes. He needs to play so that the mistakes you see, he won't repeat them in the big picture, but he's never going to learn these things if he doesn't play. That's all I'm advocating for. Derek, any final thoughts before we get to Rakai?
No, he's still finding his way. I mean, he just came back, and you guys got to recall he was averaging almost 30 points before he got hurt. You know, he's trying to adjust to a whole new team, and you know everything is different. But he'll find his way back. I'm not too worried about him. He just needs a little bit more time.
Derek, I love you, brother. Enjoy your Saturday night in Vegas. I'm sure you're gonna have fun, no matter what you do.
Absolutely.
You going out or are you staying in? What are you doing?
I'm staying in.
Enjoy, brother. I'm a homebody too. Have fun, man. That is Derek Simmons Jr. coming to us from Vegas. I don't know if we've had Rakai. Am I pronouncing your name right? How you doing, man?
Yo, this is my first time here, bro. And,
welcome.
I'm so glad to be here, bro. You're doing a good thing, bro. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, man. How are you? What's on your mind?
Bless, bro. I'm just saying, like all these Kuminga haters, bro. Like, yo, come on. You all need to relax. Yo, this guy,
Exactly.
this guy is only 22. This guy is elite. This guy is elite. Yo,
Agreed.
I remember last season, this guy could have a bad game. I know that. But yo, he could drop. He could get hot in any quarter. He could get hot in 5 minutes. They gotta give him a chance. Give the man a chance.
Exactly. And he missed 31 games. He was balling before that injury. That injury sucked. I hate the fact that he had to experience that. Although someone posed a question a couple weeks ago, which I still don't have a good answer for. And I don't know, maybe Rakai, if you have one, which is if Kuminga did not get injured, would the team have traded for Jimmy Butler? And I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to that. But if the injury did result in the trade, maybe that's a blessing in disguise. But dude, he missed so much time that you got to give him a little window here to get his footing again and get his rhythm back. Tonight was not a great game. I'm not sitting here pretending that it was. I'm also sitting here saying a lot of people had a bad game. Why are you pointing your finger at Kuminga, who's like 9th on the team in salary? And let's have that long-term next contract discussion in the offseason. I will happily talk with you folks about that. This ain't the time. Sorry, Rakai, continue.
Yeah, but you're right about that. But 30 games is a long time, bro. That people are not realizing that 30 games, man. This is like his 5th game back, or 6th.
Agreed.
Man's is rusty right now. Like, let him get his juice back, you know. And I think you're right about that too, yo. If he did not get injured, I don't think they would have traded for Jimmy, bro.
Which is kind of crazy, right? And I never want anyone to get hurt, but it's like if that resulted in Jimmy Butler, it's like, I mean, there was a silver lining there. Where are you joining us, by the way, Rakai? Where in the world are you?
I mean, Canada, bro. Canada.
What part of Canada?
Edmonton.
Do you think it's cold there, doesn't it?
Hey, bro, it's cold right now, bro. It's freezing out now, bro. It's crazy.
What do you guys think about this whole 51st state stuff? Is it really offending you people? Because I have family in Canada. I've lived in Canada once. I love it. What's your take on all this, man? Because there's a lot of rhetoric.
I mean, honestly, yo, like right now, our government is pretty messed up. I get what Trump is saying, but at the same time, it's like.
Oh man, I want which always begs the question: what government in this world is actually doing a good job?
Nobody. It's all messed up, bro. It's all messed up.
The whole world is crazy, man.
I feel like Trump is forcing it though. He's like he's forcing it too much. He's like he's forcing it too much.
Yeah, it's a lot of too much. Well, are you a Warriors fan? Is that your team?
Oh yeah, bro. Warriors, that's my team right there, bro. I've been a fan for a long time, bro. 10 years.
So Rakai, before I let you go, brother, what are your feelings on this team long term? Like tonight was ugly. But I hope it was just a blip. I'm confident about them coming back Tuesday and kicking some ass. What are your thoughts on this team, big picture?
I definitely think we're gonna win the chip this year, though. No lie. I definitely think we're gonna win it. You know why? Because the rotation is gonna get smaller in the playoffs. And Kuminga is going to get a lot more playing time. Moody's going to be playing more. GP is going to be playing more. They're definitely going to win it this year, bro. I guarantee you that. I'm going to come back to you. And I'll let you know that they won it. They're definitely going to win it this year, bro.
Rakai, real fast. Mike G in the chat brings this up, which is, it's funny. Mike G writes, I really believe if Steve Kerr felt Jonathan Kuminga was the answer, he would get more minutes, but clearly he's not. I agree with the sentiment. But the problem is with any lottery pick, with any rookie, they're never going to reach their potential. They're never going to get to where you hope to get to if they don't get minutes, if they're not getting NBA experience. And Steve Kerr, again, year one, I get it. He's a rookie on a team that won a championship. I get it. I do not get year two when Anthony Lamb was stealing minutes from him. I do not get last year when he literally rode the bench for the entire second half of that Nuggets game where they blew a 20-point lead, which resulted in Kuminga criticizing his lack of playing publicly, and it resulted in Steve Kerr acquiescing and starting to play him. And you also saw results from that. You saw good results from that. You saw the Warriors winning games after that, which is why I don't buy the rhetoric that the team doesn't win because of Kuminga. But the point is, even this year, Lindy Waters III was getting minutes above Moses Moody. Corey Joseph last year was getting minutes above Moses Moody. I have questions when it comes to Steve Kerr's personnel decisions. Nothing new here. Rakai, what are your thoughts?
Bro, where is Anthony Lamb right now, bro? Is he even in the NBA right now?
No.
Bro, if Kuminga was getting those minutes right now, bro, this guy would be next level right now. This guy would be next level right now as we speak, but he was benched. They were playing some random nigga. My bad. Where's that guy right now? He's not even here. That's messed up, bro. I feel like, yo, no lie. If they don't win the chip this year, Kuminga's got to go.
Oh, real? Okay, that's an interesting take.
He's gotta
So
go.
if the Warriors don't win a championship, you want the Warriors to like sign and trade him? That would be
Oh
your
yeah,
ideal.
100%. Yeah, I feel like that's exactly what's gonna happen, bro. Cause like,
All right.
if he stays on that team, bro, like they're just gonna limit him, bro. Like he's not gonna reach his full potential, bro. Like if they don't win, he's gone, bro. I'm telling you this right now, 100%.
Well, there you go. And look, see, and this is where the Kuminga haters, if you come in here with a respectful take, like I don't have a pushback to that. We'll revisit that in the offseason, right? I mean, like let's say hypothetically the Warriors go to a game 7 and barely lose. I don't know if I'm going to be advocating for a Kuminga trade at that point, but at the same time, man, I have
bro,
no
I feel like
pushback.
he's
I
gonna
have no
want to
opinion
leave
on
too.
that.
He's gonna want to go too. He's gonna want to go too.
He might want that too. Yeah, absolutely right, dude. You're absolutely right. All right, Rakai, it was a pleasure, man. Come back on the show soon, will you?
You too, bro. Take it easy.
Thank you, brother. Take care, man. And still waiting on Chardal. I think Chardal said he was going to go to the gym, right? We can't have a show without Chardal making an appearance. Here's the thing. Like Adrian Gutierrez in the chat brings up that the problem is that Kuminga's not a star. He's not a star at this point. You're absolutely right. And that he needs to play his role better and fit in the system. Curry and Butler are the stars on the team. So my response to you is there's a couple things here to respond to that. First off, Kuminga was not drafted to be a role player. It's not who he is. There was a reason why at one point he was touted to be the number 1 pick in one of the deepest drafts in NBA history. This is a guy who, you're right, he's not a star now, but he is a star in the making. And it's very tricky to put a player like that in a position where you're asking him to do less than what he can do. Another tricky part of that is he's only 22 years old, and he just turned 22 this year, and he's developing. He doesn't even know what the hell he is at this point yet. So to try and force him into these roles, that's what Steve Kerr is doing. And Kuminga was starting to embrace that, but he was also embracing a role as one of the top guys before the injury. And now he has to embrace a slightly lesser role as the number 3 guy versus the number 2 guy. Although I guess Wiggins kind of was even before, but he's clearly at most the number 3 guy right now on the team behind Steph and Jimmy. And then you have guys like Draymond Green as well, who, side note, if you respect Draymond Green's basketball IQ, Draymond never has anything but the greatest things to say about Kuminga. I agree with you wholeheartedly at this point in his career. You're right. That there are players on this team that are better. But I also would push back and say you could handle Kuminga's role better. You can handle the minutes better. Like the second half minutes in tonight's game, for example, where Kuminga got a whopping total of 6 minutes and 56 seconds in the second half. I'm looking at other players on the team. Like, was Buddy Hield needed for 5 minutes and 40 seconds in the second half? You couldn't have given those minutes to Jonathan Kuminga. Trace Jackson Davis's 4 minutes 34 seconds. Although, in hindsight, look, this was a tough one. I don't know if Brandon Pajemski should have played 19 minutes 7 seconds in the second half. There were spots there where I feel like you could have worked Kuminga in there a little more. Like, I don't know if Draymond Green should have played 20 minutes in the second half, 9 minutes 26 seconds more specifically. I don't know. Julian Bashir, is Anthony Lamb actually in jail? It wouldn't surprise me if that was true. But I hear what you're saying. But again, that's not who he is. He was not drafted to be a role player. His mentality is not that of a role player. And if you wanted a role player with the 7th pick in the NBA draft, you should not have drafted him. But you did. So handle it right. Don't try to force something that isn't there. Don't try to fit a square peg into a round hole. Kuminga is a player who, in the right system with the right players around him, is going to be a star. I'm confident of that. The talent is clearly there. The question is how the Warriors use him, how Steve Kerr uses him. And we've broken this down extensively. Steve Kerr, just when it comes to patience, it's not there for him as a head coach. And you need patience to develop talent. You need the patience to leave people on the court and play through mistakes. And Steve Kerr has never had the patience for that with him. It's a problem, and we'll see what happens. So, but yeah, like, don't forget the Rockets game earlier this season. Like, the Warriors don't win that game without Kuminga. He has shown plenty of examples where he has single-handedly won games for the Warriors, which is why the rhetoric that he's a loser makes no sense. Let's go to the beautiful, deep, chilling voice. And when I say chilling, I mean calming, of Aim Assist. Aim, you're on the program. How you doing?
Good. What about you, bro?
I'm doing all right, man. What's on your mind?
Man, honestly, to me, I'm not too worried about this loss, to be honest. The Clippers play OKC, Minnesota plays the Pacers, so you know. But about this Kaminga thing, I think honestly, people just overreacting. Before his injury, he was getting adjusted with his mindset and stuff because with JK, you're watching him out there, right? And you like, bro, just drive to the paint. Don't
Yeah.
pass. Don't do
Yeah.
no passing, bro. Just drive to the paint. I think
Aim,
it's
I'm gonna
just a
real quick, just because I don't want to forget this. I don't mean to cut you off. I apologize, but I wanted to say you're absolutely right. Like if people who are frustrated with Kuminga have a very valid point, it's that, and this is what I'm experiencing watching the Warriors play when Kuminga's in the game. I feel like every possession he has the capability of causing havoc, whether it's penetrating and drawing three defenders to you, which side note he does almost every time. And if they don't do that, he can score at will. That's my frustration with Jonathan Kuminga, that he's not taking advantage of his own skill set every possession. He can handle the rock with the best of them. He can attack with the best of them. He's a fantastic finisher, but there are a lot of possessions where he fails to tap into his own potential. And that frustrates the shit out of me. Am I making sense, Aim?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying. Like he was getting to that like before the injury, And I feel like most of the times he'll come in the game and he'll just throw up this random ass 3-pointer, and it's like, bro, why would you even do that, bro? You have 20 seconds on the shot clock and you're just throwing up a three knowing you're not a 3-point shooter. So I
I
think a
didn't see
lot
that
for him is
tonight.
mental.
He had one 3-point attempt, Aim, where I think there was still some time left on the shot clock, but he was also completely wide open. I didn't see that otherwise, though. I thought his 3-point selection since he's back from injury has been fine. They're not going in. Did you see possessions tonight where you saw him actually forcing it when he should have been passing or driving?
Like a mid ranges and stuff, yeah. But this game, I didn't really have too much of a problem with him, honestly, except for the beginning. But everybody came out. I think the problem with this team, like they come out just lazy, bro. Like y'all have to come out good every night. Like what is up with this team? Like if you didn't learn from the Philadelphia game, the Brooklyn game,
Yes,
the Portland Trail Blazers game, like how is this team ever gonna learn? You have to come out with energy. I don't know how they're gonna learn. It's every game.
And then you have ignorance like Amar Jal, who writes that Kuminga can pass. Dude, there was a play tonight where Kuminga made one of the best passes I've ever seen in my life. He had a perfect opportunity to score, but he passed it up for an open three. I forgot who made that three, but I never want to hear that rhetoric. That to me is blatant ignorance. Kuminga is a fantastic passer, and he's not a selfish player either. Sorry, Aim, continue.
I mean, Kaminga don't, man, if you think about it, bro, like I said, he doesn't even need to pass, bro. Drive every time and you good. You going to get a foul or you going to make it. I honestly think Kaminga can be a better version of Jimmy Butler. That's a hot take. But with just some years of experience, bro, he can definitely be a better Jimmy Butler. So even if he don't pass, I don't care. As long as he drives to the paint, it's good.
Yeah. Any takes tonight besides Kuminga?
Yeah, that's I think Moody, he's been kind of Moody was good. I can't say nothing about him. He
wasn't
was
his
good.
fault. Yeah, Moody,
Yeah,
I haven't even mentioned him in terms of his box score tonight. Moses Moody was fantastic. 20 points. He played 34 minutes, 36 seconds, 7 of 13 from the field, 3 of 8 shooting from deep. He was not the problem. He even had 5 assists. The assist number is not usually high for Moses Moody. Added 4 rebounds in this game. He added 2 steals and a block. Was just a -2 which isn't bad at all. I thought Moses Moody played a great game. I'm glad you mentioned that, Aim.
Man, yeah, and part of it was defense, even though, these role players, like Onyeka Okongwu gonna drop 12 points next game, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, they always showing up against us, dude.
What pissed
bro,
you off?
what?
What pissed you off more tonight? Okongwu or George Niang looking like he was Kyle Korver out there? Like what frustrated you more? Because both those things were pissing me off to no end.
Man, what frustrated me more was Okongwu. I'm not gonna lie, because he's not like that. Niang,
No.
I mean, Niang has always been known to be like a 3-point shooter, but not 20 points a game. But like Okongwu, bro, come on now, dog. Really, bro.
I hear, by the way, Organic Manic, nice handle, by the way. The Organic Manic in the chat. This to me is the most accurate take I've seen of Kuminga in the 6 games he's been back. JK's been average. That's fair. like there's nothing to write home about except for brief moments. There are some things you could criticize except for brief. There are brief moments that you can criticize about his game. He's been average, man. Like, again, this is why I don't understand the amount of attention that certain people give to him. He's been okay. That's fair. He hasn't been great. He hasn't been bad. He's just average. I think that's the best analysis I've seen, as simple as that may be, of Kuminga in his 6 games back. Sorry, Aim, continue.
I mean, he's kind of on a minutes restriction, so you can kind of just be average, you know. When he gets back to playing 30 minutes a game, he going to start dropping 20 a game. I mean, can't really do nothing with like 21 minutes, you know. It's only so much you can do.
You're absolutely right. And especially, again, the 6 minutes, 56 seconds in the second half. Like, it's just it's hard. Like, this guy sometimes needs a little time to build a rhythm. I don't know how many games we've seen where Kuminga's gone off in fourth quarters. You can't see that if you don't play him, you know? So, yeah. Aim, any final thoughts on a Saturday night for me? Doing anything fun tonight? Any big plans?
No, I actually have a question for you. What do you think, like, what if you had to pick something, what truly lost us the game? Like, what's the number one thing?
Offensive rebounds. Like I don't know, there were a lot of possessions in this game where the Warriors, like, Atlanta made the Warriors work very hard defensively tonight. They were moving the ball a lot. Like, I haven't even looked at this number yet. The Atlanta Hawks tonight had a total of 37 assists. Makes perfect sense. And even more crazy is that the Warriors actually had more. They had 38. Those are both very high numbers. Atlanta was moving the ball a lot. So they were putting a lot of pressure defensively on the Warriors tonight. And every time the Warriors stopped them, and you're thinking to yourself, God damn, finally, a stop. Yes. Wait, what? They got the rebound? And that happened way too many times. Those are backbreakers. Those are momentum killers. Like, if it's hurting you watching that on your TV set, it hurts just as bad, if not worse, if you're a player. And there were too many of those possessions tonight. Again, Atlanta had 10 offensive boards, 14 second chance points, and that just overwhelmed them. And that was pretty much the difference. The Warriors lost by 9 in this game. What do you think happened tonight?
Man, honestly, none of that would be a problem if they just came out high, bro. Like, they just have to come with the energy, bro. You just can't start the game just slacking off, man. Like, it really makes it hard. I think every game for us, you can tell if we're gonna win by the third quarter or not. If third quarter we still down like 18, yeah, it's over with. You might be on the side of that.
But let me ask you this: did you think that the Warriors had a shot in that fourth quarter when they cut it down to a single-digit lead? Because I did. No.
Nah. I think it was over. I think it was over at that point, bro.
Up a little bit. Aim, I want to play some sound from Draymond Green after this game. Are you going to stick around, or are you bouncing?
I'm gonna bounce. That's all I have for today.
Have a great night, man. It's always great to hear from you, Aim. Take it easy. Here's Draymond Green after tonight's game. This is courtesy of Anthony Slater, who recorded this on his phone. You know the drill. If you're a newbie to the show and not a veteran Golden Dazer, turn your device volume up, because with most of these folks who upload these clips, they're not focusing on audio quality, even though they should. Here is Draymond Green after tonight's frustrating 124-115 loss to the Atlanta Hawks, their 6th straight loss in Atlanta. Here's Dre.
They had 40 in the first quarter. What do you think just kind of went wrong early?
We just didn't come out ready to play. We came out like we were just going to win the game. And we got diced up defensively in the first quarter. And from that point on, you're fighting uphill battle. You know, so everybody's comfortable. And they took it to us. So we got to be better. That starts with me. We were terrible defensively. Once it's NBA, once guys get into a rhythm, it's hard. And they got into a rhythm out of rolling. It's tough to stop that. So we got to come out ready to play.
How do you kind of look at a loss like this, where, you know, I guess a shorter scope? You guys are 16-4 in the last 20, but obviously, you know,
bad loss.
Yeah,
it's a terrible loss. You know, when you're in a position where you got a chance to compete for something, 11 games left with everything to play for, you shouldn't have a loss like this. too much on the line. Got to win the games you're supposed to win. Obviously, Steph's out. Still a game we should win. So, it's a terrible loss.
I guess with that in mind, what are the keys to responding in Miami?
Gotta come and play. Come out, play defensively. Come out and play hard. You know, we got Jimmy over here. I know this is a big game for him. They got Wiggs over there. I know it's a huge game for him. So just like we want to win for Jimmy, they're gonna want to win for Wiggs. We gotta come out ready to play. They've lost 10 games in a row. 6 or 7 of those games come down to 4 or 5 point games. Last couple of possessions. So it's a little fool's gold that they've lost 10 in a row. We know who the Miami Heat are. They play hard, discipline. So we got to come out and play hard brand basketball.
And that's Draymond Green, who I think his sentiments perfectly matched how a hell of a lot of people feel, especially if you call yourself a member of Dub Nation. And good for him to bring up the fact that they're back at this Tuesday against Miami. They got a couple days off. I'm going to play sound from Jimmy Butler in just a second, who also spoke to the media after tonight's loss. And he's going to be a huge focus, given the Warriors are playing his former team, the Miami Heat, next. And right now, though, Shardall joining us on a Saturday night. Shardall, how you doing, kiddo? The floor is yours.
Hey, Cy, how are you doing tonight?
I've been better. How are you?
Tough loss for the Warriors. They fall to the Atlanta Hawks 124-115. Tough loss for the Warriors. I think they'll bounce back against Miami. I think they put up great effort today. I think that's what I like about this Warriors team. They always put up a great effort. They always come out strong throughout the whole game, which is something I really like about this team. That's why I became a fan of the Warriors and a fan of Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. What were your takeaways from the loss? I mean, like, what were your thoughts? Like, what were some things that you would take away from this loss and focus on winning the next game against the Miami Heat in Miami, which is Jimmy Butler's debut in the Kasai Center in Milwaukee, in Miami?
This is the sharpest broadcasting I think I've ever heard from you. You're fast, you're timely, you're articulating yourself perfectly. Bravo. You're on it tonight, man. You're sharp.
So I mean, I love this team, man. I mean, this team is great, man. This team plays hard. This team plays with intensity. They come out strong, bring their A game every single night. This is what I love about this team, bro. Like, this is what I love about the Warriors, man. That's why I became a fan of the Warriors in the first place, bro. I love this team.
So how did you feel about this loss tonight, though? I mean, despite everything yeah.
It sucked. I mean, like, I really wanted them to come out with the win, but you know, you're not going to win every single game, right? You're not going to win every single game. You're going to win games. You're going to lose games. You're not going to win every single game. That's not hypothetical. That's being illogical.
Well, and it's not realistic, right? And Tommy in the chat, thank you for the $5 donation, writing that the Warriors have had 2 stinkers in the last 3 games. Is it 2 in the last 3 or 2 in the last 4? I got to look that up. But you know, the Toronto
I'm currently in San Jose right now. I'm having dinner at the Old Spaghetti Factory in San Jose. Me and my friends are going to the Sharks game to the Sharks game. So we're having dinner with with some of my best friends. We're having dinner in San Jose. Great effort by the Warriors, man. They came out strong, man. Like that's what I like about you, Cy. You're a great host and you're a great professor at San Jose State as well. I love everything you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're phenomenal, man. Like, you get a lot of great guests on your show. I love everything about you.
And you're incredibly positive, given
I love everything about you, bro. I like everything about you, bro. That's what I like about you, bro. Everything about you is amazing. Everything.
Thank you.
You do a great job grounding grounding this on YouTube.
Thank you, brother. I can't thank you enough for that. You're being way, way too kind. What did you think about Trayce Jackson-Davis tonight?
I love Trayce Jackson-Davis, man. He's a great player, man. A wonderful guy. He's a dog, straight up dog on the court. I love him. I love everything he brings. He's great, man. That guy's great. I mean, he's just a great basketball player. And I love everything he does, everything he brings to the Warriors.
So Shardall, when I'm looking back at the Warriors last approximately 10 games, and this is what's been going down, right? They beat Charlotte in Charlotte. They beat the Knicks in New York. They beat Brooklyn in Brooklyn. They beat Detroit at home. They beat Portland at home. They killed Sacramento at home. They beat the Knicks at home. They lost that brutal game at home to the Nuggets. They beat Milwaukee at home. They beat Toronto at home. And then they lost their stinker tonight in Atlanta, their 6th in a row. What is your response to Tommy, who wonders if there is concern for the Warriors because they've lost 2 of their last 4? What do you think?
So I am concerned about this team, man. This team is great. This team comes out every single night, every single day, they just come out with fire every single night. Like they're just like a great team. And like, I know we're not doing so great, but you gotta be optimistic about this team. You gotta lift their spirits up. You gotta lift boost their morale. You gotta make them feel better.
What's your message to the Kuminga haters?
I love Kuminga, and I don't appreciate them showing him all the hate, because he just came back after an injury from the sprained ankle, and he came back, and you're showing him all this hate. I'm like, if you show Kuminga hate, you're not a Warriors fan. You're not a true Warriors fan if you hate Kuminga. Kuminga's a dog. I mean, he's hands on one. He sometimes he doesn't have great nights every single night, but you gotta give him all the credit and the love to Kuminga.
Well, and that's been my point. It's like, what good does it do shitting on this guy this time of year? Off season, when we're talking about contracts, trades, I get it. This time of year, right now, I don't understand it, and I've been echoing your sentiments.
I don't understand why you're showing him so much hate. I don't understand it. Like if he's like he's working to be a star, and if you're showing him so much hate, you're not a Warriors fan. I mean, what else am I gonna say? You want me to say the wrong stuff? You want me to say the wrong stuff? No, I'm not gonna say the wrong stuff. I'm not. You want me to say the wrong stuff? The incorrect stuff? No, you don't want me
to be you. Be you. That's all.
I'm just myself. I try and be myself every single day.
I love it. What are you doing tonight, Shirtle? It's Saturday night. What are you doing?
I'm in San Jose, having dinner with my friends. We're going to the Sharks game. It's a great night. I haven't had a time when me and my friends can have this time when we all get together and do something like that. So I'm having a great Saturday night. Warriors lost, but I'm optimistic that we're gonna bounce back against Miami. I'm 100% optimistic.
I am optimistic. Are you too?
I'm 100% optimistic about this team. I know this team will make big strides in the future, and they will make it to the playoffs, and they will win the finals. And Draymond Green predicted that they'll win a title. Draymond Green is going to be right, because Draymond Green predicted that they're going to win a 5th title. Draymond, you're going somewhere with that, Draymond Green. You're going somewhere with that, Draymond Green, predicting that the Warriors are going to win a 5th title. Draymond Green, you are going.
Draymond doesn't make that prediction every year. I don't think he's ever been wrong with that prediction. If he made that prediction in 2016, maybe he was. But I love it, Shirtle. You're bringing the heat tonight.
That was a bold-headed prediction, man. Let's go.
I love it.
Let's get it. Let's go, Warriors.
Shirtle, don't forget the Spaghetti Factory makes these huge meatballs that are so delicious. Did you have one?
I haven't had it.
Oh, strongly recommended. Yeah, I'm guessing you're having fun tonight because you're with your friends. Agreed?
I'm having fun. I'm with my friends. I'm with my buds. I had a Corona tonight.
Oh, look at you. Oh, you're on fire, bro.
I had a Corona tonight, baby, with the lime wedge, baby. You gotta put the lime wedge in the Corona, baby. It's perfect, baby. You gotta put the lime wedge in the Corona beer, right? You gotta do that. You gotta do that shit. You gotta do that.
There are certain moments in life where I accept the idea
you gotta do that.
In your beer, and that's one of them. Yes, sir. 100% agree.
Let's go. I love you, Cy. I love it. I brought the heat tonight, baby. I brought the fire. Brought the heat tonight.
Yes to all of it. Yes
dude,
to all of it.
I brought the heat, bro.
Have fun with your friends. Go back to your friends, brother. Have a great night.
Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the love. Appreciate the love, homeboy. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the love to you, Cy. I appreciate the love, man. Let's go, man. Cy is the man in the building, baby. Let's go.
You are
this guy is the freaking this guy. Boom, shakalaka. 3-pointer, baby. Let's go. Steph Curry for 3. Boom. Let's go, Steph Curry. Steph Curry makes a 3-pointer. Woohoo! Yeah, baby, let's go, man. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Cy's the man in the building, bro.
Thank you, brother. Have a great night, Shirtle. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show. Make sure to click
Thank
the
you.
like. Make sure to click the like button. Smash the subscribe button. Ring that
Please.
notification bell for golden days on my boy Cy. I should have left on my boy Cy every single day. I love this
Yes,
guy,
you do.
bro. I
Yes,
love
you
this
do.
guy. This guy
Yes,
is
you do.
my boy. If you're not subscribed to my boy, make sure to go there and click that subscribe button for my boy. Cause this guy makes some great Warriors content. You don't want to miss out. Smash that subscribe button. Debo that like button, baby. Smash it. Punch
Sure,
it,
don't have a
man.
great night,
Yo,
brother. Love you.
punch it.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for
Thank
having me
you.
on the show, and I'll see you next time. I love your show.
Tuesday
You
at the
are-
latest, right?
I'll see you on Tuesday. Sounds Tuesday.
Good.
Let's get a win against the Miami Heat in Jimmy Butler's debut.
Chardol is one of a kind. And Tommy, to answer your question, this game does not, to me, reflect at all the Warriors' big picture in terms of where they're going to go, what they're going to do. I'm not looking into this game as having a lot of meaning. The Atlanta Hawks were shooting out of their minds. Those kinds of shots do not fall in the postseason. You saw when things got tight in that fourth quarter, it got a lot harder for them to score points, but unfortunately they built that lead and there isn't much you could do. So, Tommy, I'm not hitting a panic button if that's where you're going with. I think things are okay. I'm going to get to ATG in the chat after we hear from Jimmy Butler, who's asked about the upcoming Miami game. The Warriors are in Miami on Tuesday. And here is Jimmy Butler. This is courtesy of Sam Gordon of the San Francisco Chronicle, who's going to join us this upcoming week, I believe, from Miami. And he's going to provide a lot more answers for us in terms of what's going on behind the scenes right now. Here's Jimmy Butler talking about their next game and maybe this game as well.
Going back to Miami Tuesday, looking forward to playing there.
Another game for me. Another game that we're expected to win for sure. So we got to figure it out. Very quickly.
Are you curious what kind of reception?
Not really. It don't make me no different. I'm a member of the Golden State Warriors. I love that fan base. They showed me a lot of love while I was there. But I'm there to win now. I'm on the opposing team.
When you look back at your career in Miami, how would you categorize what the team was able to do?
We was all right. We didn't win nothing like we were supposed to. So, I don't know. We made some cool runs. We had some fun. I think that's all we did.
I love it. I Jimmy Butler on his Instagram account posted a quote from an ancient Greek philosopher by the name of Epicurus. And the quote was, "The greater good is the simple and thoughtful enjoyments of life's pleasures." Let me say that one more time because I messed it up. The greatest good is the simple and thoughtful enjoyments of life's pleasures. Meaning keep things simple and focus on the greater good. The man is thoughtful, clearly has one of the highest basketball IQs on the planet. It wasn't his fault they lost tonight. Jimmy Butler, 25 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds, had a steal, was one of only 2 players in the positive net rating tonight. A plus 11, was 7 of 15 shooting from the field. Interesting stat, which I was not aware of until I just saw it right now. And I'm guessing none of you folks saw this as well. Otherwise, I feel like someone would have brought this up sooner. ATGYY, I thought you were going to come on the show. Oh, well, we missed you. Jimmy Butler tonight, 1 of 7 from deep. Ooh, I did not see that initially. I don't remember Jimmy Butler putting up 7 3-point attempts. I remember a couple of those, but that's a blemish. 1 of 7 shooting from deep for Jimmy Butler. What are you going to do? The Organic Manic dropping $1.99 with no words attached to it. So thank you for the donation. Regardless, Coast to Coast dropping $9.99. Looking ahead to the future, writing next year, we need to let Kevon Looney, Buddy Hield go and get a 6'11" dude to grab offensive rebounds for putbacks. I hate when the 6'9" Kevon Looney is under the basket and acts like a skipping CD with the pump fakes. Buddy Hield is trash. Don't know why Jonathan Kuminga plays less minutes. Yeah, and again, he is on a minutes restriction. Steve Kerr bent that rule in a recent game. Was it the Raptors game? I can't remember which one that was, but it was recent. Maybe it was the Bucks game. And Kuminga went up to 27, I believe, that game. But Yeah, Kevon Looney will be an unrestricted free agent this offseason. I have no idea if he's going to garner interest or if the Warriors can get him back on a friendly deal for the veteran minimum. I don't know if they'd offer him even more than that, to be honest, coast to coast. But there you go. Is there anything else that I need to address before we go? Oh, look at this guy. There's just so many, like Strong Like Water saying we miss Wiggs. Who's we? Replace the we with I. And then he'll be accurate. I don't miss him like at all. I know some of you just had this sentimental attachment to him. When it comes to professional athletes, I personally don't have that sentimentality for the most part. Stephen Curry might be an exception. I do love Jimmy Butler, watching him play, and I'm happy he's on the Warriors. But Rafa, I think you got more accurate saying nobody misses Wiggs. Well, at least one person does. Perry Olson is asking if I think Jonathan Kuminga should be more aggressive. Yes, maybe not. Maybe aggressive is not the right word. I don't see the confidence consistently yet from Kuminga. Like, and look, he's young. He has not put it together yet. That is clearly obvious. Which is why I constantly advocate for minutes, because when he gets the minutes, he'll figure it out sooner. Mick, I do not agree with this sentiment at all. That's writing that Wiggins is better than Kuminga will ever be. Dude, just this past season, before Kuminga got hurt, he was putting up better numbers than Wiggins. I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, Wiggins was trash with Minnesota. Do not forget that either. Oh, Young West 79, an old KNBR listener, bring it up, evoking the great Gary Radnich, saying nobody. Yeah, Gary Radnich was one of a kind. Still, his Twitter account, he posts like 2 tweets a year. I was Gary's producer for 3 years. Great experience. He was one of a kind. Uncle Gary, good dude. All right, I think we are done. If there's nothing else to play except for the scoreboard, let's get the tunes going. And what happened in the association? I saved this part as a surprise so I can so my reactions can be authentic in terms of what's going on in the NBA. So let's play some scores. It is Saturday night, folks. Hope you people are taking advantage of that. Frank Grimes, thank you, sir. Do you like how you Kuminga haters? I'm not putting you in timeouts. I'm letting you say your piece. I believe in free speech. It's just don't spam. Don't call people names. That's a big one for me. Just, we can be respectful. All right. And Simon 2, following up on my opinion, just an opinion about Kuminga. Simon 2 responding, saying that I don't think it's confidence in himself, but more like he knows he doesn't have Kerr's confidence and that he's on a tight leash. That doesn't help things. Ramona Shelburne was on the show a couple weeks ago, and we talked about that. Like, she interviewed role players who told her that Kerr's strategy when it comes to minutes, when it comes to his lack of patience, it affects him. Absolutely does. She's fantastic, by the way. And that's an episode I strongly recommend checking out. It should be on the front page of the YouTube account for Golden Days. And of course, coming back from injury, constant changes of rules. Agreed. The Warriors in general, like in hindsight, and again, we could have that's another show, but we could have a debate about the 2 timeline approach and whether or not it's wise to try and focus on the future as much as the present. But maybe in hindsight, they should have just traded those picks away. I don't know. We could have a whole discussion about that. But the reality is he's on the team, and we're seeing Moses Moody now getting a run and what he can do. I love Moody. I have faith in Kuminga. I do, man. I think he's going to be him, but he needs to play. Plain and simple. Tim Ford, great call. Asking me if I've seen the show clipped yet. I have not. It is on my list. We're an hour and a half into this, so I feel like we can kind of stray into fun topics. Case in point, TV shows. Ramona Shelburne, I did not know was one of the writers, producers for that program. I will watch it soon because the Donald Sterling fiasco was fascinating. As ugly as it was also fascinating. And they made a whole show about it. Ed O'Neill plays Donald Sterling. I will watch that show soon. Tim Ford, have you seen it? And if yes, what's your reaction to that? Please let us know. Tim Ford following up saying you've seen it and that it's awesome. I will watch it. But right now, here's my list of TV shows. And dude, I'm a fanatic when it comes to scripted television and movies and stuff like that. So right now I'm watching 1923. Awesome show. Awesome. Like cannot recommend it enough. It is as good as you're going to get on television. Each episode's a movie. The new Daredevil series. Awesome. White Lotus. Phenomenal. Armando Laura, who made this recommendation, and I'm now watching it. Lioness on Paramount Plus. Excellent program. Wholeheartedly recommend it. And then The Mayor of Kingstown. I think those are the 5 shows that I'm currently binging at the moment. Clipped will be on the list. If anyone has shows that I should watch, please do drop it in the chat. Well, Frank Grimes, I already watched Silo. Frank Grimes brings up Silo. Dude, Silo is a show that when the new season comes, it's one of the only shows that I have to watch like the moment an episode drops. Like I'm putting down everything in my life and I'm watching the next episode. Turns out there's going to be 4 seasons total, and the show is based on 3 books. I'm thrilled. It is one of the best shows on TV, hands down. Thank you for the recommendation. And Frank, there's going to be 4. So you're going to wait until the 3rd season's over and then watch it. It's making me curious about the books. Part of me wants to pick it up and watch it. Julian Bashir is asking, is 1923 related to Yellowstone? Yes, and it's set approximately 100 years before. I mean, it's the namesake of the show, 1923. But yeah, it's based on. It basically it's part of, like, what was the other show, 1883? So it picks up from there. It's like 40 years later from that. But yes, it's all about the Dutton family and that ranch and the history that they evoke. The mistreatment of American Indians, for example, forcing American Indian children to go to these religious schools. I had no idea that was going on in the 1920s. Apparently it was. There was just a lot of crazy shit going on, and I love that the show picks up on that, in addition to the phenomenal cinematography, the stories themselves. Anyways, any other shows? All right, no more shows. That's it. Okay, so let's go to the scoreboard on this Saturday night, March 23rd. The Knicks defeated the Wizards tonight, 122-103, 44-26 is now New York's record on the season. The Wizards dropped to 15-55 on the year. But I'll tell you this: if you happen to be a Wizards if you happen to be a Wizards fan watching the show, congrats on Alex Sarr. That guy is gonna be a player in this league. He is, man. Like if your front court moving in, let's say 3 years from now, if your front court is Alex Sarr, Corey Kispert, if Jordan Poole is still on the team, I imagine he might even be better than he is now. You might have something there. You might have something that to build on there. So congratulations to the Wizards for a future that may look bright. Alex Sarr, I wish he was on the Warriors. We would not see what we saw tonight if Alex Sarr was manning the inside, preventing those offensive boards. Karl Anthony Towns, 31 points, 11 rebounds in the win. Jordan Poole, 25 points in the loss. The Brooklyn Nets lost to the Indiana Pacers tonight, 108-103. Tyrese Halliburton, I saw someone in the chat earlier mention that they wish the Warriors had traded down to get Tyrese Halliburton. In the year 2020, when the Warriors drafted James Wiseman with the number 2 pick. Side note, what I really wish is that the Warriors had traded up one spot and took Anthony Edwards. Minnesota wanted to flip picks with the Golden State Warriors, but Steve Kerr didn't like Anthony Edwards. He thought the work ethic was soft, and they didn't make the trade. One of the biggest regrets from my perspective in terms of what the Warriors have not done in recent history. But I forgot who was in the chat that brought up that Tyrese Halliburton should have been drafted by the Warriors instead. If, let's say, for the sake of argument, the Warriors had not traded down and they had drafted Tyrese Halliburton with the number 2 pick in the draft, in hindsight, it would have been awesome for obvious reasons. But at the time, Nobody was looking at Tyrese Halliburton as the second best player in that draft. It was also a very hard draft to properly scout because of COVID. No one could actually meet James Wiseman face to face and have a proper interview with him. And Bob Myers, who, side note, I have a very loose relationship with, but I do have his number. And it's more like I'm a friends of friends of Bob's, but Bob's a good dude. And what I have learned about that draft is that Bob did want to trade down. That was the goal, but no one wanted to take that number 2 pick. That was one of the worst drafts in NBA history in hindsight, in terms of depth of talent, in terms of not knowing who should have gone number 2 after Anthony Edwards. And Bob Myers did want to trade down. He did want Tyrese Halliburton. He had 0 takers. Nobody wanted to trade down. And then Black Castle could, yes, you bring up LaMelo Ball. They did whiff on that. I thought the bigger whiff was not trading up with Minnesota, who, again, was willing to give that pick away to the Warriors because they wanted the first-round pick back the next year, which ended up being Jonathan Kuminga. But the Warriors, and more specifically Steve Kerr, who was not known for joining the Warriors on scouting trips, but he did join him on this trip to Georgia to scout Anthony Edwards. They had dinner together that night, and that's where Steve Kerr told Anthony Edwards that he didn't think he had the work ethic, and Edwards did not forget that dinner. Yeah, Bree CS. I really wish that the Warriors got Anthony Edwards, because we would not be having any discussions about 2 timelines. The dynasty would be continued for at least another 10, 15 years. Yeah, that kills me. That kills me. But what are you going to do? Oh, Young West 79 recommending North Water with Colin Farrell. What streaming platform is that on? Please let me know. Truth dropping $1.99, saying, dropping $1.99 for a Julian message. Julian, attention, sir. Truth wants your email. Apparently, you two have a tit for tat in the chat tonight about your personal wealth and accomplishments. And what is going on, man? What is going on? Oh, man. Okay, let's go back to the scoreboard. So, not many games that affect the Warriors tonight. The Sacramento Kings are hosting Milwaukee Bucks currently, so we're not going to know what the final is of that game if you're listening to the recorded version of this. But Sacramento leads Milwaukee 52-47. We also won't know what happens with the Lakers and the Bulls. But I do know Luka Doncic has 16 first quarter points, and there's still 1 minute, 24 seconds left in the first quarter of a game that the Lakers lead 29-27 over Chicago. So that game has a lot of relevancy for the Golden State Warriors. And I brought up Tyrese Halliburton because he scored 16 points, 8 rebounds, 12 assists in a win for the Pacers tonight over Brooklyn. Cam Johnson, 20 points, 9 rebounds in the loss. Is there anything else that I need to get to? All right. The chat is on fire. All right, folks, have a great Saturday night. We're done. I don't think there's going to be a show tomorrow. Monday, V for Valkyrie with Sophia Jones. And then Tuesday night, we're back at it. Warriors and the Heat. Sam Gordon's going to join the program in the next few days. He's traveling with the team. He's the one who posted that clip of Jimmy Butler. He does fantastic work. Him and Danny Emmerman both. Side note, I heard Danny Emmerman is going to another publication here in the San Francisco Bay Area, but I'll save that for him to announce. I hope that's public. It just occurred to me. Anyways, congrats to Danny. He's a great dude. Both 2 great beat writers covering the Warriors on top of Anthony Slater. That's your pool of beat reporters, and that is it for us. Shitty game. No way to spin that. That one sucked. If you saw the reactions from Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler, they both look like someone shot their dogs. That's how much they take this seriously. That's how much they care. You have to love that. And they're going to come back on Tuesday playing like gangbusters. I'm very confident in the Warriors taking care of business in Miami. I would give you an advisement in terms of the spread, but it's not available yet. So if you follow me on social media, I post the lines pretty consistently. Otherwise, that's it. Have a great night. It is Saturday. The Golden State Warriors, unfortunately, not coming away winners tonight. Oh, and the standings. Almost forgot to do that. Please forgive me. So the standings now, before we go, I won't bother sharing my screen, but the Golden State Warriors are still the 6th seed. They're now 41-30. The LA Clippers just a half game back at 40-30. So if the Clippers win their next game, and let me see what their schedule looks like so I can tell you what that game is. So the LA Clippers next play. Oh, and Rick Barry just texted me saying he's disappointed that the Warriors lost. I feel you, Rick. I feel you. So the LA Clippers. Oh, this is some good news, folks. They're next going to play the OKC Thunder. That's going to be at home. And then they're playing at New York, at Brooklyn, at Cleveland, and at Orlando. That is their next 5 games. So take some relief in knowing that important fact. And I bring all that up because the LA Clippers are currently just a half game behind the Warriors for the 6th seed. They're tied in the loss column. So if they do tie, the Clippers would own the tiebreak because of their 3-0 series advantage this season in terms of head-to-head matchups. But as of right now, the Golden State Warriors are your 6th seed with a half game lead over the Clippers. They're 2 games back of the Memphis Grizzlies for the 5 seed, 3 games back of both the Lakers and the Nuggets for the 3 seed. If LA loses tonight, LA will just be 2.5 games ahead of the Warriors. If LA wins, they'll be 3 games ahead of the Warriors, all alone in the 3 seed. Denver will be 2.5 games ahead of the Warriors for the 4 seed. And the Houston Rockets are your 2 seed right now, a good 5 games ahead of the Golden State Warriors with 11 games to play. That's all that's left in the season. It's really crazy. So there you go. So yeah, the LA Clippers are a threat, just a half game back. But if there's any solace, it's that they have a rough 5-game stretch coming up. They're playing both OKC and Cleveland and the Knicks. So they're going to get some losses there. And that sounds kind of good. All right. Now we're done. Peace. Have a great Saturday night. Do something fun. Whether you're staying at home or going out, life's short. So enjoy it. And that's it.